One of the incredible buildings that grace the Louisville skyline is the Humana Tower. It's located at 500 West Main Street. It's 26 stories tall, and it has been the headquarters for the Humana Corporation until very recently. It was designed by architect Michael Graves and was completed in 1985. Now, Graves was born in Indianapolis. He studied at the University of Cincinnati and then later at Harvard. He worked for a time for George Nelson, who was the creative director for Herman Miller, which is one of the most legendary furniture companies of all time, truly iconic pieces of modern American furniture. Graves taught at Princeton for decades, and he designed buildings internationally. So how did Graves come to design the Humana Tower? Well, the founders of Humana, David Jones and Wendell Cherry, had this competition for a handful of very prominent architects to see who could create the best design for the Humana headquarters. Jones and Cherry wanted a building that would poetically meld Louisville's rich past with the possibilities of its future. And Graves' design did just that. This was a portion of his career where he was shifting from more modern design to something postmodern. And what is the difference between modernism and postmodernism in architecture? So modernism, you need to think of buildings by Mies van der Rohe or Le Corbusier, right? So modern architects rejected the ornateness of previous decades like Art Deco and neoclassical architecture. Postmodern architects embraced the ornateness, but they blended it with modern architectural elements as well to create wholly new structures. In postmodern architecture, you're going to see more unique shapes and colors. And I think that the Humana Tower really embodies this postmodern mindset. Graves designed for the future of Louisville by challenging the typical steel and glass construction of corporate buildings that was popular during that time. Instead, Graves incorporated granite and marble and bronze. This feature here is a truss. It was used to acknowledge and mirror the trusses of the bridges right across from the building leading to and from the city. To preserve the past of Louisville, the lower level has something called a loggia, which was built to be flush with the original Main Street storefronts, which I think is critical because Main Street is one of the most historically rich areas of Louisville and I think should be preserved very carefully. Also of note is the fountain system inside the loggia, which is a nod to the Falls of the Ohio. The American Institute of Architects awarded the Humana building the National Honor Award in 1987. Time magazine has listed it as one of the best buildings of the 80s, which is an incredible achievement. Humana announced at the beginning of 2024 that they would be moving and phasing out of the tower and moving things to their Waterside campus. The tower has potential for hospitality or residential reuse. As I speak, the plans for the future of the Humana Tower are unknown. Now, I love really old buildings, but I have always admired this newer building. I love driving into the city, 64 East, and watching the skyline come into view. And I'm always looking at this building the most, especially when the sun is shining off that pink granite or when it is lit up at night. It's truly spectacular every time. It's stirring. It was built to be a symbol of Louisville's rich past and its bright future. So come what may for the tower, I hope its significance is properly respected and preserved.